Good evening, everybody. Here we are for another week of UFC. Last week didn't quite go how I anticipated. I should have gone with my favorite fighter in the main event. I never thought for a second that Justin Gaethje. Well, I shouldn't say favorite fighter. I should say fighter that my girlfriend got me a shirt of for my birthday. I never thought that he was going to be that much of a dog and outlast him, and I didn't think that Topuria would get tired at the end of the second round, and then just the eye damage that he took was just a factor in the fight. I think in the third and fourth rounds of Justin Gaethje taking over, I think it was. I'm not going to say it was solely because of the eye damage, but some of it was. He just couldn't see properly. So, saying that, we move on to the next week and try to get him this week. But it was a banger of a card. I think it was the best UFC event I've ever seen in my life. I'm not sure how everyone else feels, but that's my personal opinion of it. I liked the whole setup of it. I liked how they did it. I was kind of wondering how they were gonna do it, and I thought some of the things were very cool, like the walkouts with some of the veterans. I think that's something that's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing that, on a not gonna say like all the time, but I wouldn't mind seeing that more on a regular basis. Maybe a special Veterans Day card every year or something like that. They can implement it a little bit more. I thought that was a nice added touch. But let's move on to this week's card. I think it's a solid Apex card. There's some pretty good fights, some newbies, and some been around maybe a little too long bees, but here's a couple that no one's even gonna know. Collins versus Tanzalovi. I barely even heard of him. So I just think Collins is going to be the more complete MMA fighter. I think he's going to be a little bit better everywhere. I think he can even mix in takedowns if he chooses to. I think he's going to have more. I think he's going to be the better striker, and the more power he is live for a knockout. But I'm looking at this fight to go the distance. I'm going to lean with Collins to get the win, but I don't really know enough about these two fighters to make a great decision. And with them being newbies, I don't even like to take someone that's, hasn't been around very long yet. So I'm going to lean Collins, but it's going to be a stay away fight for myself. Now, the second fight of the night, also a couple newbies, but I think one of them just doesn't belong, and that is Shabazian. And yes, he is the older brother of the other Shabazian, but he's not as good. And that's usually how it goes. And then we got Choi Kelly, who's, he's a minus 300 for a reason. I do like him, but not enough to put money on him at those odds, because I believe his knockout prop is like, is like a minus 200 if I'm not mistaken, or minus 175 or some crazy ass line like that. He's just going to be way better. I look for Joe Kelly to get a knockout, but I'm not going to play it. But that would be my play if I was going to. Oh, and by the way, and Shabazian's going to have to wrestle in order to have a shot, because he is a better grappler than Chikeli is, but I don't see him getting it there. and Kelly's just going to piece them up on the feet. So the third fight of the night is Rosa versus Santos. This is a, I mean, it's a 50-50 fight, like the line says. If it's on the feet, it's more than likely Rosa. If it goes to the mat, it's more than likely Santos. Santos is going to try and grapple here. I think she's able to, though. And I think at a plus 100, I like her. I do like the over, but the over is like juice so bad that you can't even like. I don't even want to use it as a parlay piece on the over. God damn, man! I don't know why. Whenever I start recording, I start yawning sometimes. But so I actually do like Santos in this fight. I'm not going to bet on her, but I will say this: if you are on the other side, then I would also like Rosa's significant strikes, which I don't even see a line for them yet. They may not even have one. I've been looking all day for significant strike props to come out, and they've only come out for the main card. So I do lean Santos in this fight. I do lean her to win 2 out of 3 rounds and get the takedowns and win it that way. But it's a 50-50, it's a fight. It's a 50-50 fight. Next we've got, oh shit. No, yeah, I moved it for some reason. We've got Aswell versus Bolanos. I like Aswell here. I used him as a parlay piece. He is chalky, minus 400. I just think he's going to be the better striker. I think he's going to be the higher volume striker. He's going to have more power. He's also going to have better cardio. So I could see Bolanos fading in the later rounds. So I don't even mind like a later KO prop if you want to take a shot with that. But I'm just going to use Aswell on the money line as a parlay piece. I do like him to get the win, though. Then we've got no, I skipped one. Sorry. We got Raposo versus Nascimento. This fight's closer than the lines suggest. I gotta look up the price again, but I actually, here's the funny thing. I actually lean Nascimento to get the win. I think he's the more dangerous grappler, even though Raposo is probably the better wrestler. And on the feet, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty even. So I have a slight lean for Nascimento, but I think I might like Raposo plus 3.5 a little bit more because I like this fight to go all 3 rounds. And we only need Raposo to win 1 round if it goes all 3. Let me look at the price tag on that. I mean, if it's minus 130 to minus 140, I'd be all for it. But if it's any worse than that, then I would just stay off of it. Oh, wow. Not bad. Plus 3.5, minus 135. That's not bad. You could even on DraftKings go a step farther and do plus 5.5 at a minus 160. That's pretty solid too. I actually like that a lot, I think. There, I came up with a pick while I'm recording. Look at that. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like that a lot. I think Raposo is going to be the actual better wrestler, even though Nascimento is more dangerous. And I think on the feet, it's pretty even. Some might even give Raposo an advantage on the feet, but I think it's pretty even on the feet. So that's what I got for that. And I am using the over 1.5 in a parlay that I'll pull up at the end. Next, we got a fight that I actually do have a single on. Bia Mesquita versus Melissa Mullins. I mean, even though Mesquita's young, I like her to be better everywhere. I mean, she has kind of gotten her hands going too lately. So I don't mind her hands at all in this fight too. But I think once it hits the mat, it's a wrap. So I'm going to take Mesquita by submission. And that is a minus 115. But I ended up getting a little greedy, and it very well might backfire for me. That's why I'm giving out the straight up submission prop at minus 115. You might be able to get a better submission line. I think DraftKings might be minus 110, actually. So try that. But what I played was over a half a round, and that's me just banking on Mullins keeping it on the feet for the first minute to minute and a half. And then hopefully she doesn't get immediately subbed if she gets taken down. And then over a half a round, and then Mesquita by submission. That was a plus 145 on DraftKings. That's a build your own same game parlay type of ticket. So that's what I played. But if you want to go the safer route on the submission, just play the submission line straight up. And then next we got Oliveira versus Feely. I think Oliveira is just going to be so much better on the feet. Feely could be live if it gets to the mat. I just don't think it gets there. And then if it does get there, I don't think it stays there. So I do like Oliveira, and I do like him to eventually find a knockout. I didn't play it, so it's not like it's a single for me or anything like that. But I don't mind him. Like, if you want to parlay him also, I think he's a minus 250 on the money line. So I like that too. I like Oliveira. And then next we've got Begedazarian versus Magomedov. Magomedov is making his debut. I think he's 10-0 with 10 finishes. And I think he's got 5 submissions and 5 knockouts. So I really like him on the money line. I think on the feet, it could end up being kind of even a little bit. But once it gets to the mat, I don't think it's going to be close. So this is what I'm playing on DraftKings. I'm playing Magomedov minus 7.5, minus 130. His inside the distance prop is like a minus 110. So I figured for 20 cents of juice, I'm kind of taking a little safety valve just in case he doesn't get a finish. But I expect him to. But I will say this. If he doesn't get a finish, he's going to have to win all 3 rounds. So you're either going to have to win all 3 rounds with this, or he's going to have to get a finish. So there you go. But I like it. And then, let's see. What's our next fight? Next fight is Lima versus Borjas. I'm really hoping Lima keeps on winning. I'm really hoping he makes light work of this. I pulled a refractor Lima rookie card, so I'm really hoping that he keeps on improving. But I don't know if he'll ever be top 10 material. He is a young and upcoming prospect, though. I do not like the line on this fight at all. I don't think he should be a minus 700. But saying that, I do think he wins. I think he's just going to be better everywhere, no matter where it goes. I think he could win by knockout or submission. So if you want to play him, I would look at his inside the distance prop. That's the route I would go. I'm going to lay off of it just because I'm not going to play any of the inside the distance props, and I'm not laying a minus 700 with him. But I do like Lima to get the victory here. Next, we've got Rodriguez. Sorry, I had to flip this other board of mine around so I can see some of my notes. We got Rodriguez versus Hyder and Mill. I am seeing a lot of people on Hyder. I really am, which is making me kind of think twice about this. But I'm gonna go with Rodriguez. But on the feet, Hyder and Mill is live. He is live to create chaos on the feet. Now, I will say one thing I do like is the most significant strike prop. Hyder and Mill is like a plus 110, I think, to have the most significant strikes in this fight. That's probably not a bad look. Actually, I might end up playing that. Or you could get really crazy and do a two-piece parlay and do most significant strikes, Hyder and Mill, and combine it with the over, or even Rodriguez winning if you wanted to. But I mean, I think Emil is live to win this, but I'm going to be on Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez is able to mix in his takedowns and get the fight to the mat. But it's a very close fight. It's one of those 50-50 fights. But I will take Rodriguez as a pick. I'm not playing it. This is my official play, though. I am taking fight to go the distance. This is on FanDuel. I think Bet Rivers might have the same line, minus 136. Now, if you want to take the safety valve, I think FanDuel, I'm not sure if they still have it, but the over 2.5 rounds was like a minus 155. If you want to play that instead, you can. I actually got a little greedy. I played this in a two-piece parlay with the first female fight, Rosa versus Santos. And I took both fights to go the distance, and it came out to like a plus 105. And I put a 50% boost on it. So that's why I played that. So that's what I got for that fight. Next, we've got Kudalaba versus Sterling. This is another one where I've got Sterling in it as a money line parlay piece. I do like him to eventually get a knockout, but I'm also going to play his knockout prop in a interesting way. So on the feet, I think it's Sterling all day. But I do think Kudalaba is live to have a good first round. I think he could mix in takedowns in the first round. But even if he does, I see him gassing out and getting tired and getting knocked out in the second round. So, I mean, I'm going to put a sprinkle on this. Sterling, second round KO, plus 600. I think it's worth a sprinkle. Like maybe 0.1 units, or if your units are small, then maybe a quarter of a unit. I'm probably going to put like $5 on it that's it. Maybe a little bit more, but we'll see. I've also got a long shot parlay that I'll talk about too in a little bit too, that involves that same prop that I put like $4 on it. And I'll talk about it. And then the last fight is we have Kape versus Horiguchi. This is a rematch from like 9 years ago. Yeah. This is another one of those fights that I think is more 50-50 than what people are giving it credit for. I think Horiguchi is 100% live in this fight. I don't even know who's gonna win, to be honest. I think Manel Kape is gonna be the better striker. The he's gonna have the power advantage. But Horiguchi's not like it's not like he's a bad striker. I mean, he's still going to be live on the feet to be in it. But I think Manel Kape should end up being the minute winner on the feet. But I like Horiguchi to at least mix in some takedowns too. I'm gonna have a slight lean towards Horiguchi, but I would rather play use the over as a parlay piece than anything. But it's it's one of those fights where it's 50-50. It could go either way. But I'm gonna lean Horiguchi, but I can definitely understand anyone that's on Manel Kape also, because he is on a serious run, and if he wins this, he's probably going to be up for a title shot, or at least a contender title shot. So that's my breakdowns. Now I will pull up some of my parlays and singles. Let's see if I have them right this week. All right. So here's my singles, which I kind of already talked about. I've got Bia Mesquita sub -115. Or if you want to be greedy like me, you can play over 5, over a half a round, and win by submission +145. Then I've got Emil versus Rodriguez, fight to go the distance -136. Then I got Magomedov -7.5, -130. Then I've got a sprinkle on Sterling, second round KO +600. Then I've got a long shot parlay, Mesquita second round sub. That's supposed to say sub, not just second round. And then Sterling second round KO +4,100. I've got like $4 on that or something like that. Yeah, just a couple bucks. I figured it was worth a shot. Those are my singles. Actually, the last one's not a single, but that's okay. Then we've got parlays. So my first parlay is as well Magomedov and Sterling all on the money line. Here, I'm going to blow this shit up. So I got as well Magomedov, Sterling all on the money line +116. That was on DraftKings. Then I've got Nascimento versus Raposo over 1.5 rounds. Emil versus Rodriguez over 1.5 rounds. And Manel Kape versus Horiguchi start the third round. Now, if you want to do the Kape Horiguchi over 1.5, I don't have a problem with it. It's just, I think it's closer to a -115 if you go that route. But I mean, if you want to take the safety valve and do that, I don't have any issues with that at all. And that's a +107. Then I threw together a three-piece most significant strike parlay: Oliveira, Magomedov, and Sterling. Now I will say this: the only one I'm concerned with is Magomedov, and here's why. If he gets to his grappling early, is it possible that Begedazarian has a few more strikes than him? Maybe. But I'm going to bank on that he doesn't. And that's a +105. And I think I've got like a 50% boost on that on FanDuel as well. So that's what I'm playing. Let's see if I can minimize this again. There we go. So those are my picks for UFC Fight Night Kape versus Horiguchi. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you're not subscribed. If you know anybody that's looking for another little, video in the dungeon, someone that just wings it and does their own thing. And, I mean, I generally I don't do any editing. What you see from me is what you get. This is just who I am. I try and be informative, try to give out good picks and, just a little information here and there. And hopefully everyone enjoys it. And hopefully we all cash some tickets and everybody have a great weekend.